What would you do if you were randomly stranded in an international airport and had to live there for an unspecified amount of time? We'll dive into that as we discuss the 2004 movie, The Terminal. Joining for our second go around is Stephanie.
Hi.
And now, is it really a podcast if we don't invite this person on?
Hey everyone, it's Rachel.
I'm Chad.
I'm Matt. Buckle up, sit back, and relax. Grab your favorite drink and enjoy the 137th episode of your award winning podcast. We used to talk about this at work. Stephanie, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm just hanging out, doing my thing here in Canada, getting used to the cold weather again.
So, you watching new anime?
Not necessarily new, but since the last time we talked, a new season started. So we're working through Dr. Stone currently, the new season. And have been watching new episodes as they come out every week. So we actually just watched the newest episode today.
Chad and Rachel, are you familiar with Dr. Stone?
Fuck no. I thought she was talking about like some pulpy adventurer type stuff.
No.
Like
No, it's
Doc
about
Samson.
how do I describe it? It's basically like the regular world, but then it gets quote unquote frozen over and what's the word I'm looking for? Like enough time has passed, trees is overgrown, there's no more buildings and blah 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 blah. But then you have one kid who is super smart who we'll just say he defrosts basically. And he has to, how do I describe it? I won't say he has to build up civilization again,
Like
type of thing.
by like what sex?
No, no,
No.
no.
Like the entire world gets like turned to stone, like petrified, turned to stone, and then he has to basically unfreeze everybody. But because it's been thousands of years, there's no technology, there's no civilization, there's nothing, and so he's basically starting over. It's like a not prehistoric, but like hundreds of thousands of years ago time, and he's trying to bring them back into modern time with what he knows from when he
So do they explain like what turned everybody to stone?
eventually, but it's a mystery initially.
Okay, no, that's what I'm getting at. Like, was it just like this is something that we don't address, or it's like, oh no, this is like the overarching mystery of the show?
Well, so like we don't know initially what turned them to stone, but we're learning like how it happened, if that makes sense. Like we still
Yeah.
we're learning like the science and like the tech behind it, but we still don't know who actually did it or what did it or the
I
initial
got you.
time.
I got
Yeah.
you.
Do we learn as the character learns, or do we as an audience know more than the character?
In my head, we learn as the character learns. But there is like a comic series that it's based off of, so I'm sure that they're farther ahead in their learning than the anime version is or the TV version is.
Gotcha.
One thing I enjoy about it is his science stuff is not fake science, it's real science, and they actually teach you like the real science on how he does how he builds different stuff for like quote unquote cell phones and things like that. It's real science how he does things.
Hmm. And they kind of make light out of it. It's a bit like comedic the way they do it too, so it's not just serious the whole time. It's got a fun little comedy aspect to it, which is nice.
Right.
Yeah.
But besides that, you was watching Mrs. Maisel?
Mrs. Maisel, I'm watching. Well, I'm rewatching it. So I'm still in the first season, maybe 7 episodes in. We actually paused it halfway through an episode to come hang out with you guys.
Oh,
Uh,
thank
Aw.
you.
We'll appreciate that.
it's fun. And then, so we're just working our way through. My partner hasn't seen it yet, so I'm introducing him to it. Sorry, my dog has a wiggly butt and she's moving the computer.
Yeah, initially I thought you were turning the camera to him, but then I was like, no, I can see your hands. What's happening?
No, she Rachel can attest. She goes butt first towards everything, so she's backing her butt up against the computer and making it go sideways. But yeah, so we're working our way through. We're still in the first season, but entertaining, lighthearted, that sort of show. It's always nice to go back to. And
Can you give a brief synopsis of it?
a brief synopsis is it's set in, I believe, the 1950s or so. And there is a housewife who, in the first episode, her husband says he wants to separate from her. And so she, in her emotional state, ends up going up on stage and does an off the cuff sort of comedy spiel for about 10 minutes. And then the whole series is kind of about how she progresses as a comic through her divorce and everything that's going on. And it's fun because it's also got a lot of sort of Jewish aspects to it. So and it's not like a very in your face kind of thing so much as just mentioned on the side, and it's just a fun little added piece to the whole thing.
Can I ask a question, Stephanie?
Yeah.
What is your opinion about folks that play Jewish characters that aren't Jewish? Specifically, Rachel Brosnahan.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
I don't. Well, on the whole, it's not my favorite thing. I would like. I do believe most of the people who are cast in that show as Jewish are actually Jewish, but the main character is not, or the lead actress isn't.
Isn't Tony Shalhoub not Jewish?
Yeah, I don't think he's Jewish either.
Which one is that one?
Her dad.
Yeah.
Really? He's not?
No.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into him, so maybe he's not.
Also, Matt, this woman, the lead of this show, is about to be Lois Lane.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's not my favorite thing that they aren't Jewish. But I don't know.
I'm just asking because we gotta stay on topic because this is a Hanukkah episode.
It is a Hanukkah episode, technically.
Yeah. Hanukkah's right now, I think. I didn't look at the calendar before we hit record, but Hanukkah's right now.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah. Started December 7th.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is right now, huh?
Yeah, it is right now, Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. It is. Happy Hanukkah, everybody.
Happy Hanukkah to you too.
Hanukkah.
But yeah, we'll get to that. I'm sorry, I got us off topic. But I was just curious since we're talking about the show.
It's not my favorite thing, but I mean, I can't change who was cast. I will say she does play it well. Like, I don't sit there and think that she's not Jewish when I watch it. So at the very least, she knows what she's like. She's studied what she's like, the part that she's playing, which I appreciate. And definitely the writers and everything have that background. So there is an authentic sort of script and everything coming to it, which I appreciate as well.
And the person who ends up being her manager is
Alex
Jewish.
Borstein.
Yes,
Yeah.
in real life.
Matt TV.
Well, she was also, it feels kind of like a sidestep, but not really. It's like the writers, the writers of Mrs. Maisel are the writers of Gilmore Girls, and that the actress that plays her manager, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. They wanted to.
Alex Borstein, yeah.
Yeah, she was originally cast as Suki in Gilmore Girls.
What?
And so like they have they recorded the entire first episode of Gilmore Girls, and she was Suki. And then they had to recast her because I don't know, she got another job or something, but she couldn't be Suki, so they had to recast her. And then they ended up bringing her in as little minor characters throughout the series, and
Well,
they would
she
set
was
her
like
up
a
as different.
harpist,
Yeah, she
and
was Drella the harpist. She was the wedding dressmaker at some point. But so they liked her so much they tried to keep bringing her back in. But I
Yeah.
think that was a big reason why they wanted her in this show was they wanted her in Gilmore Girls as well.
Also, to bring it around, she's Lois Griffin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Family Guy.
oh,
Yeah. Yes, I know her from
Mad TV.
no, from the Lizzie McGuire movie.
yeah.
Never seen it before.
It's okay. I don't know if I doubt you'd enjoy it.
I'm sorry, I didn't grow up well, I did grow up a millennial girl, but I didn't see the Lizzie
That's
Lizzie
okay.
McGuire movie.
That's okay.
Yeah.
She was like the Italian teacher or something that they went to Italy with in the movie.
Hmm.
So that's what I know her from.
Totally forgot about that. That's really funny.
Yeah, that's what I know her from. Yeah.
All right. You also checked out the Marvels.
I did. I
We've
watched that
all
when I was home
seen
for
it.
Thanksgiving, and I didn't know if you guys had an episode about it, but I figured I'd at least pipe up for a hot sec.
Yes. What did you
Yeah.
think about it?
Also, yeah, Rachel hasn't shared her thoughts about it either. So yeah, you guys get to hash it out.
Okay. Well, let Stephanie go first. She brought it up.
I think they had a wonderful opportunity for a female lead Marvel movie, and it felt botched to me. Particularly, particularly like the last 30, 45 minutes of the movie just didn't seem very well thought out, produced, written. Acted was fine, but just it was very jumpy and not quite a story that I thought was as fleshed out as it could have been. And they had lots of opportunities to make more of three female Marvel characters coming together, and they did not. That was me.
So I guess I'm in the minority because I really was entertained by it. I do understand like the points about there wasn't as much character development as there should be. I had issues with the ending. Like there were certain things where I was like they could have done this better, but like overall I thought it was fun and funny, and I was entertained. So
I'll give you that.
as much as you can be in like this formula, movie, I liked it better than other Marvel movies I've seen. So.
I'll give you that. I was entertained by the way the show ran, the way the movie ran, but towards the end it just felt very rushed, incomplete. I didn't leave the theater feeling as good as I did initially when I came in, if that makes sense.
Can we do
as the whole, I thought it was decent.
Oh, okay. No, I was just asking if we could do spoilers. So like at the ending, I didn't like how Rambo was on the one side instead of on the other side fixing what was broken.
A rift or something.
Yeah, like why did she have to be on one side and stuck there and not on the other side? Nobody explained that. I didn't understand that, and she could have easily stayed in her own world. But I guess that leads us to a sequel.
Well,
yeah, that's where
it won't be a sequel.
The extra
you know what they're
scene
gonna
came
do.
in, right? Like it finally brings in that set of the Marvel universe, which is nice. Where I started getting particularly thrown off was when the main antagonist, like that whole scene where she ended up dying. First of all, the movie in general is really short, so I was surprised that she died so soon, and then the way it happened was just very abrupt and just it didn't seem like the plot or the storyline felt complete. Like it just was just cut off to me. And then how they then tried to follow up the rest of the film just didn't seem complete either. So it just kind of felt very skittish and yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Because when me and Chad said we didn't like the movie, people were like, "Oh, you hate women" and things like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got a woman on who said, "Nah, this movie wasn't good."
So we need Stephanie to come up here as our hype woman to say all
Right.
the anti-woman things that we would get canceled for.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
We're slowly putting together our alpha male podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
All right. Also, Strange World.
Boo.
Yeah. Do you guys know what that movie is?
Oh, I saw that shit in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When I was home for Thanksgiving, my cousin told me about it. So I downloaded it. I downloaded it to watch on the flight home,
Mm-hmm.
and actually quite enjoyed it. I don't know what I was expecting it to be, which might have been part of it.
Okay.
I have to sit and think about it for a hot second, though, and remember exactly what happened. But
Wow. So that shows how good it was, huh, Stephanie?
it's been a week, man. It's been a long week.
It's that memorable.
Yeah.
You remember Captain Marvel? Oh, sorry, the Marvels like the back of your hand, but you're like, so I saw this movie, but
I remember feeling, well, so I had a much more pronounced emotional response at the end of the Marvel movie than I think I did this one. Um, huh? Men.
What about me?
You
He said,
said
"What about men?"
I didn't dislike Strange World. I knew the big twist that was coming. I knew that that was going to be the twist. I just didn't
Okay.
know how it was going to play in.
Like it was spoiled for you, or you figured it out?
My cousin had mentioned it when she was telling me about the movie. So I knew
Okay.
generally where it was heading, but I didn't know how it was going to play out. So that might have been part of it.
Okay.
I in general, I appreciate the sort of commentary it was trying to make on the environment and communities and being aware of what you're doing and who you're affecting when you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciated that, and it feels kind of like a side note, but it's related. We had also watched, for me, I'd rewatched it, the Inside Out, and so we had been. That's where we got to this topic of conversation. We were talking about these Pixar movies that seem to be discussing a lot more. I don't want to say higher level, but topics that are, at least when we were growing up, that weren't really discussed in animated films for kids. So we were just kind of talking about the different discussions that these films were trying to have with their audiences.
So,
I
did
appreciate
you
it.
get a chance to see Encanto or Raya and the Last Dragon? There's one other Disney movie that's escaping me right now.
Luca was the other one that came out around that
And
time.
there was Turning Red.
Yeah,
Turning
Turning Red.
Red, yeah.
Like my issue with Strange World was that we just kept getting Disney movies about generational trauma one after another.
That makes sense. I didn't watch them all at the same time when they came
Yeah.
out, so I didn't process it that way.
Yeah.
But that makes sense if you're actually watching them as they're coming out. Yeah. I'm excited for the second Inside Out movie, even if it is about traumatic things. So
Yes, we will see what young Riley is up to in these teenage years. What goes on in teenage girls' brains, right?
I
What
don't
was the
know.
new character? Anxiety.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, anxiety is the new one, but I feel like in one of the trailers, am I crazy to think that they also add like show that like she's gonna start going through puberty and that's a big shift with all the emotions that are going on? Do
That
I
would
remember?
make sense for, the age range that she's gonna be in.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
think
Um,
they gonna hate. They gonna hate that.
they were adding more than anxiety too. I thought they were adding like
they're
4 more.
yeah, they're
Probably
adding a
more.
handful more, but on IMDb they've only listed anxiety so far as being
Yeah.
cast,
Hmm.
which I
Yeah.
assume is different because I assume it's already been like I assume they're in post production at this point,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah,
But
you
they
know, they're probably it's probably part of the ad campaign to slowly drop the new
release.
emotions until the release of the film.
That's what
Right.
I would think.
But
Yeah.
also, I agree with you, Matt. But also, you can't do anything without the internet being mad.
Right, because first thing I thought about was the whole turning red stuff when they were saying it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
So,
nobody wants to hear stories about girls.
mm.
No. Yeah. So that's what's going on with me. That's what I'm watching currently.
Well, then
Yeah.
that got me thinking. So then, how is I can't think of the name. The women spiders, the Madam
Women
something,
spiders. I mean, that's not out
Madam.
yet though.
No, I'm saying
Web?
then Madam Web. Is that her
Yeah.
name? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey man. So that means that won't be doing good because the internet don't like women.
Right. Why do we need a movie filled with women? Yuck. Right.
I
Agree to
heard,
disagree.
yeah, I disagree with that also, which I assume is sarcasm.
Yeah.
But uh, with the Marvel stuff, I had been having a conversation with my dad and my uncle about how with all the writers' strike stuff, they weren't able to advertise it as much, and they didn't put as much funding into it to begin with, which is disappointing. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
But also, like, I just feel like I do agree with you that this movie would have probably made a little bit more money, but like this year specifically, people have not been thinking that this Marvel formula has been cute anymore. Like Ant-Man made money, but consistently people were like, "This movie is trash," because nothing happened. You know,
Mhm.
like Secret Invasion. Like, what are we doing here, guys? There was something else that came out that wasn't Loki, right? Or am I? Oh,
Loki
uh,
people like
season two
Guardians.
came out, yeah, but I don't know if that was. I enjoyed season two of Loki.
Yeah, I was like, I don't. I'm just tired. You know.
That's what I think. The market is very saturated with Marvel currently, so
Yeah.
it's getting it's got to be something really big for it to hit, I think, at this point, as
Right.
opposed to what was it, 2018 when Endgame came out,
Yeah.
2019.
I mean, as a result, they're only releasing one movie next year.
Really?
Yeah, like they really like taking a hard look at what they're doing. Now, granted, we're gonna still get some trash on Disney Plus, but that's mostly because like they filmed a whole bunch of shows that they gotta figure out what to do with.
Oh,
is
is it
Young
released?
Avengers is going to be a TV show or a
I
movie?
I don't know, but we got that with the deaf woman.
Echo?
Echo.
Yeah. And then What If comes out the week of Christmas. They filmed all of Agatha and
Oh, that's right.
remember excuse me, sorry. They Ironheart, that's done. That's been finished for like a year and a half.
And they just haven't released it?
Right, cuz like people don't want to watch these shows.
Ah,
That's what I boiled down to. It's saturated market, time delay. Because we liked when Loki 1 came out, we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I tried to watch the first episode, season 2, like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I just don't care anymore. And like Cap, what was the TV show with
Oh,
Falcon and Winter Soldier?
yeah.
mm-hmm.
Uh, I just read something the other day where they said that takes place 3 years after Endgame.
Mm, okay.
Wait, 3 years? I thought it was a couple of months.
No, they said it takes three. The thing I read, it was 3 years after Endgame.
Uh, oh,
It took him that long to choose to take up the mantle, the Captain America
right.
mantle.
Right.
I mean, also they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're like, "Oh, the people won't remember what happened in these shows."
Oh, that is that
I
is
don't
not
like
a good thing to think because some
No.
people are like more on top of it than the actual people writing it are.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
right.
True.
And now with the whole multiverse and everything, and when does this stuff take place? Is this real? And it's they probably should have got out when the getting was good after Endgame.
Mm.
No, but
But
you know that money, it was yeah,
like, oh, we keep riding this horse all day long.
that's exactly what I was about to say. That's like, oh no, we about to if y'all gonna give us $1 billion for this movie, we got about 15 TV shows for y'all on our new streaming platform. Yeah.
But speaking of streaming,
Ooh.
Rachel, tell us about A Small Light.
So, A Small Light is a TV show on Disney Plus or Hulu, and it's about Meep Geese, who is the one of the people who helped hide the Frank family of Anne Frank's diary during the Holocaust, and it's really interesting coming from her perspective, and we see her husband and some of the other characters, some of the other people who were helping to hide the Frank family along with, the other family they had in there, and then they had another person in there as well. And just like the logistics of hiding them and the logistics of getting through the days. It was super interesting and really good historical fiction. And of course everyone knows how it ends. Like the Frank family gets found out, they get taken, and then at the end, Otto Frank, who's Anne's father, is the only one to live, and Meep had kept Anne's diary, and he chose to publish it many years later. So everyone knows the ending, but it was just kind of like a fresh look at what it would be like to be one of the people going through that and helping to hide people and helping people in other ways too, not just hiding.
Mm-hmm.
So
What
I thought
per
it was
whose
really well
perspective
done.
does it take? Like is it from her perspective and then you go through
Yeah.
like, the annex and you meet everybody, or is it more like the people in the annex and then she comes in and you learn, you know what I mean?
No, it starts before they're in hiding, and it's mostly from Meep's perspective. It's sometimes from her husband's perspective as well.
Mm.
So you get kind of all sides to it, and there were some parts where I was like, I wonder if this is really true. Like, I really need to look this up because they're gonna exaggerate for TV and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I wonder if this really happened, but even just the idea and the spirit of it, I thought was really well conveyed.
This is a
So
Have you
TV
I
show.
would I would recommend it. Yeah, it's just like 8
Yeah.
episodes.
Okay.
Um I doubt they're gonna do another season of it
I would
because
think it's be a
the
miniseries.
story's kind of ended, but yeah. Yeah. Um
Have
but
you
I would recommend it.
have you been to the house in Amsterdam?
No, I have not. I have not been that many places in Europe, so
Mm.
not there yet, but it's on my list.
Have you, Stephanie?
I have. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was heavy because it's about the Holocaust and whatnot, but you can like tour through the annex and everything, and they have a whole section. Well, I mean, in general, did you ever see The Fault in Our Stars or read The Fault in Our Stars?
Yep.
Yes.
So they actually go through it in the film, like they go to the real one and they go through it. And I had just been to it and I was reading the book and watching the film when I was finished. And I was like, that's literally it. And it's still set up that way, or at least it was when I went. And there's a whole section, I believe, where Otto Frank is talking about how he got the diary and decided to publish it and everything. I feel like that's towards the end of it, maybe, but I mean, it's heavy, obviously, but If you're
So is
ever
it
interested.
really well preserved then?
It seemed to be like you could, and you would even you were even able to like walk through the doorway in from the main house to the annex, and they toured you up and through the whole thing, and they have a whole bunch of um, artifacts and remnants of like clothing and suitcases and things, and you go through there's also other sort of Holocaust history that you go through as you're learning about it too, or seeing things as well. Um, but yeah, it seems pretty well preserved from what I could tell. I feel like I remember there being like plastic or plexiglass or whatever in front of different things, but you can walk through and it's kind of crazy. So
Have you seen the show yet?
not yet. It's on my list. I had downloaded that
Oh,
also
okay.
for the flight and figured a movie with an end with a specific length was probably better than like 2 episodes of an 8 episode thing.
Right.
Especially one that was heavy and I was gonna be getting depressed. So
Yeah. I'd be interested to hear how you think like the real annex compares to what they did in the show.
I'll let you know when I watch it then. It's on my list. It's downloaded and everything. So
Yeah. And
it'll be
there is some comic relief. I mean, as
oh
much
good.
as there can be like in the
Right.
situation, but
Right. Okay.
yeah.
I'll let you know.
Okay. And yeah, I've also been checking out a couple other shows. There's The Crown season 6 part 1 on Netflix that I just
Wow, it's six
finished.
seasons of that. I
Yup.
didn't know that.
I mean, it starts with Queen Elizabeth II being marrying Prince Philip, so she's a young adult, and it goes through till I think until modern times. Like I haven't, seen the second part obviously because it's not out yet. It comes out in the middle of December. Um,
It goes beyond Diana's death, you think?
yeah, actually this whole first part, almost all of it was surrounding Diana's death. There were certain parts that were not, but most of it was what happened before, during, and after.
So I remember a little bit after the queen passed away, they were like, "Oh yeah, we have the whole show planned out, but we didn't really plan on it going to like even before she died." So like I don't know if they're gonna be like, okay, the show ends with her death, which it kind of should, but I think it's probably gonna be like, okay, and then everybody loves little Georgie. Goodbye, y'all.
Yeah.
Wait, did I mishear or am I misremembering then that this is the last season?
No, you're right. It
Okay.
just has two parts, and the second part isn't out yet.
Oh, so
So
they're gonna
I haven't
speed
seen the
through the
ending.
last bit is what you're thinking.
No, I'm saying they aren't gonna address her death, but they're probably
Oh,
just gonna be like, oh yeah, everybody loves Prince, the little babies.
Charlotte, George, and
Yeah,
Louis.
but I don't think they're gonna touch like the Meghan Markle stuff or anything like that.
Yeah, I
oh.
mean, the trailer showed Prince William, like, being a young adult and dating. So I'm assuming they're going to have something with Kate Middleton in it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I don't know how far they're going to go with that.
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna touch on how Harry that time everybody got mad at him for that Halloween costume. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Which one's
You
the
think?
middle one?
How
The
long
middle
ago
child.
was that though?
What'd you say?
Which one's
How
the
long?
middle boy, or the second one?
Harry.
Harry. Okay.
How
Yeah.
how how long ago was the Halloween thing, like in real life?
I mean, he was in college,
Right, it was like
so
10 or 15 years ago or something,
I feel
right?
like he's like in his 30s now, right? I thought he was
Yeah,
in his
I feel like
30s.
yeah.
Yeah, he's younger than Meghan Markle by a
Yeah.
little bit.
Oh,
So
Wait,
yeah, about
who you referring to?
Harry.
Harry.
Prince
Do
Harry's
Harry.
you
30. Harry's 39.
okay? So yeah, a good 20 years ago.
yeah.
I feel like they might touch that. They might touch that.
I mean, if they're gonna go
We'll
into a
see.
little bit of Kate Middleton, maybe.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
if it's if they tie it to like post Diana.
Oh, like the lashing out and stuff,
Mhm.
and
I don't know if they
Mm.
would or if, right, I don't know if it's actually connected, but if that's a way they want to take the plot, they could tie that in that way.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because
Well, I'll
Prince
let
Harry
you know.
was the reason I remember that is because I know when Princess Diana died, my mother was very sad because every year she had a child, my mother had a child.
What?
Mm.
Wait, but your mother has 3 kids.
I mean, she had Princess Diana has.
Two.
Oh, well, then I guess it just stopped at me and my brother then.
You don't have a sister. That's
Was
funny.
your sister born after Diana had died, though?
No.
No, I don't think so.
88. 88.
Okay.
Oh, my sister was born in '87.
I thought she was born
Okay.
in 88. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
But
and then oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, it's okay. I didn't have a good one. You can go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say the last thing that I would recommend that I finished was Lessons in Chemistry on Apple TV Plus. It's based on a book that was really popular, which I did not read. So I can't tell you how it compares to the book, but the TV show was pretty good. It's about this woman um, around like the Mrs. Maisel era, I think. And she is a chemist, and obviously it's hard being a woman chemist during that time. And it's kind of about her trials and tribulations of going through that time being a woman and particularly a woman chemist. And then it has flashbacks as well. So you get some character development, and there's some other characters that are really interesting too that you kind of learn about as well. And so it is really well done. There are a couple scenes that are hard to watch, but overall, like
Watch
it
in
was really good. What?
hard to watch in what way? Like uncomfortable or like not interesting?
No, like just it's hard to watch characters go through hard things,
Mm.
and some of the characters do go through some really hard things.
Hmm.
Okay.
Also, this show stars the internet's favorite actress.
Yes, Brie Larson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Yes. I feel like I've seen that advertised. Is the book the same title?
Yeah, Lessons in Chemistry is the title of the book as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, speaking of catching everything up on streaming services, I was able to catch Dashing Through the Snow on Netflix. And I want to just start off in saying that it's a Christmas movie starring Ludacris, and this movie is good. And when I say it's good, it's going to be entered into our family's Christmas rotation, along with Christmas Story and Elf that we do every year. I'm adding this to the collection. Dashing Through the Snow stars Ludacris as a cynic holiday person. He doesn't believe in the Christmas and everything. He is a divorced dad with a daughter, and she, believes in Christmas and everything. And then they run across Santa Claus, played by Little Rel, and hijinks ensued. So I highly recommend this on Netflix to watch. Great Christmas movie, fun for all the ages.
Wait, it's on Netflix in Japan?
Yeah.
Is it on Netflix here?
Pretty sure it's Disney Plus here.
Yeah, because I don't remember seeing it in the queue for Netflix.
Pretty sure it's Disney Plus.
I was just searching on my phone, and in Canada, it's not on Netflix. So I'm looking on Disney Plus.
I could be completely wrong. You guys might be 100% right. Sorry, Disney Plus.
It's on Disney
Sorry.
Plus in
Let me
Canada.
see.
The reason I said that was because I was gonna add it to my watch list, and I couldn't find it on Netflix.
No, you could 100% right. It's on Disney Plus. Yes.
Gotcha.
Wait, is that Rambo? Luda's the woman standing next to Luda on the
What's her real name?
Yep.
I
Yes.
It is her.
No,
Is
I'm
it?
saying he said what's her name, and I'm saying yes.
Oh.
Uh, it could be.
I mean, it would
Actually, I
make.
think it is her. I think it is her. Now I'm thinking about it.
Tiana Paris?
Yeah, that's
That
her.
sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her. Yes.
Okay.
So did you watch it with your family, Matt? Did
Yes.
everyone like it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
My son liked it. The wife liked it. And it's like normally if it's like a kid movie, I don't really care for it. But no, I think there wasn't no raunchy stuff in there, but it was enough that like the adults will laugh, the kids will laugh. It'll be good
So what about it is like a Christmas story elf level rewatchable for you guys?
because it's I don't want to spoil anything, but basically, Ludacris character doesn't believe he's a social worker. Okay, so when he meets him, he tells him he's Santa Claus, but he doesn't believe him, so he thinks it's a person who needs help. So as he's trying to help him, things happen to where maybe it is Santa Claus, maybe it's not. So
Is
then they,
Ludacris like cynical to
yeah,
where like he's not just towards Christmas, but like he's a social worker, but like he's like grouchy about being a social worker.
no, he actually likes doing being a social worker.
Okay.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
what kind of social worker is he?
The one,
The stereotypical kind where it's like, oh yeah, I help people, but vaguely.
well, he helps people with because it opens up with him working with the police to help somebody.
Wait,
Um,
wait. I'm
Really?
sorry. He's doing what?
he's working with the police to help
Uh,
somebody. Hey man, it's
Is
a movie on Disney Plus.
He over here naming names and stuff, talking about like, oh yeah, man, arrest him.
Well,
I
no,
f-
it's the opposite to where like the police call him to de-escalate the situation and
He a
help that
damn
individual
he
out.
not he not a damn hostage negotiator. What's happening here?
No, it's like the crisis intervention team. It sounds like he's a part of the crisis
Yeah,
intervention team that they sometimes have.
I feel like I kind of want to watch this because like I already have like a million things formulated in my brain about this character.
yes. I just keep it vague enough for everybody to be like,
All
yes,
negative things.
let.
Mm.
Hey, as long as you watch it, I guess that's all that matters to Disney Plus.
All right, ladies. So it's Hanukkah time right now. You're gonna be spending time with family, either physically or virtually. And we were just kind of curious. Can you share any Hanukkah stories with us? I.e., I mean, it would just be the same as any fucking story, right? I was with my family and this happened.
Stephanie, you want to go first?
Can you hear what's going on in the background here?
No,
Yeah.
No? Okay then. I can go first.
they
Uh,
they they, they shooting. Wait, no, they're too polite in
Canada.
Canada.
It's a
and no,
moose
we're
outside.
not in the wilderness here. We're in a
Man, I almost spit on this laptop.
no,
I
no.
just seen a video of a moose in somebody's backyard. That's what we think of it.
Yeah, well, I have not yet seen a real moose, but my dog's name is Moose, so there's
Oh.
that.
But not after the animal, though.
Not after the animal, it's spelled differently. Although every time like I talk to someone or the vet looks her up, they can't find her because they spell it like the animal. And I'm like, nope, try again.
It's the dessert.
It's the dessert. Um, uh, I don't know it like so the first thing that really comes to my mind is like Hanukkah memories is more so I never grew up in a city where my family lived. So we would get together for Thanksgiving, particularly my mom's side. And, and so Thursday would roll around, we'd have Thanksgiving, and then everybody would stay in town, and there'd be 30, 40 of us. And Saturday afternoon, evening, we would always celebrate Hanukkah, quote unquote, together. And it usually wasn't Hanukkah, but we would put all the candles in the menorah, we'd light it, or the Hanukkah, and we'd light it as if it were the last night of Hanukkah. we'd have some sort of typical foods, and we'd pass out gifts to each other. And when I was younger, we'd open up the gifts because we were little and we couldn't handle it. But as we got older, we'd take them back home and then put them on the mantle and we'd open them up on actual Hanukkah. But that's like the main thing that I remember about Hanukkah currently. The other thing, I guess, that I remember is I haven't lived at home with anybody even in the last in maybe 8 or so years. I've lived away from everybody, and so it's kind of hard to celebrate Hanukkah on my own. So I always FaceTime my family or someone in my family every night, and we'll do the prayers together. And it takes like not even 5 minutes. It takes 1 or 2 minutes. You sing 2 prayers, you light the candle, and then you sign off. And it's a nice little ritual that I have with a couple of my family members that we do. So, yeah.
So your partner's not Jewish?
No, he's not. That doesn't stop my family from giving him Hanukkah gifts, though. So it's all
That's so nice of them.
That was like with my ex. I got a cross necklace after our wedding, which was clearly Jewish.
Oh, you had a Jewish wedding? Have we ever talked about your wedding?
No.
I've never even asked you offline about your wedding. Interesting.
No. But yeah, I got a cross necklace. It was beautiful, but I'm not gonna wear a cross necklace.
Well, you know, Christians
Did you get it for
always
Hanukkah?
trying to convert. She got it for Christmas, Stephanie.
Oh, you got it for Christmas. I just thought it was I thought it was a Hanukkah gift, which would have made it even weirder.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually bad form. Actually, if you really think about the history of it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were there, right, Steph? Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
She's
maid
maid
of
of honor.
Oh, maid of honor! Look at you.
Yeah.
Step in it. Why didn't you make your brother be maid of honor?
He was one of the groomsmen.
You could no. You could have rom-com. You could have had him be MADE of honor.
Oh, like the movie?
Man.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
No, Stephanie was definitely my
I was
choice
the
all the
maid
way.
Your home girl. So,
Yeah.
do you have any sisters, Stephanie?
No. Well, I don't have any
Ooh.
genetic sisters. I
That's
have
odd.
an exchange sister.
Foreign exchange. All right. Okay. So, we're this podcast is good with putting things into the ether, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when your partner, I'm sorry, brother, proposes to you, then Rachel's gonna be that old MADE of honor, huh?
Matron. Well, I guess I'm not married anymore. So
You would be
mind.
maid of honor, Rachel.
Yeah. He feels the manifestations.
That's right. That's right. The stars told us. The astrology told us.
Yeah. There you go.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right, your story, Rachel.
Yeah, so I don't really have so much Hanukkah stories as Hanukkah memories as well. We never really did the kind of 8
Crazy
days
nights.
of 8 crazy nights. No, we never really did 8 days of presents. I know a lot of people think that Jewish people do 8 days of presents for the 8 days of Hanukkah. But my family did space them out. Like, we would get a present from one aunt and uncle, and we would get a present from another aunt and uncle, and so on and so forth. So we'd kind of spread out the gifts over the 8 days. But then everything with my mom's parents was on Christmas Day. We would always get together on Christmas Day. So we had more traditions, funnily enough, on Christmas Day than around Hanukkah.
Did you have the stereotypical Jewish traditions on Christmas?
We did not, because
See, I was thinking that too. I was like, I wonder if Stephanie likes Chinese food because Rachel is like the fucking worst.
sorry.
You know how many times? Oh man.
Sorry, not
And
sorry.
I've eaten it on Christmas many times, and I've gone to multiple movies on Christmas many
We
times.
have gone to movies on Christmas.
We went to
Remember
Les
when
Mis on
Yeah, we
Christmas.
went to Les Mis together on Christmas.
That's dope.
We do
Yeah.
like double headers on Christmas sometimes.
Why
Ooh.
is that a thing to go to the movies on Christmas?
Because
It's
Nothing
open.
else is open.
Yeah,
Except
nothing
for
is
the movie
open
theater
except for and Chinese
Chinese restaurants.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It might
Everything
be
else is
changing a
closed.
little bit now. I haven't really checked, but in general, that's all that's ever really been open on Christmas. There's
That's
a
why
there's a
it's the
whole song
stereotype.
to way back when YouTube started. I don't remember the name of it, but I can look it up and send it to you guys.
Oh,
But like
you
the whole,
should.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
the whole. I can sing it and you guys can cut it out, but like the chorus is like, "We eat Chinese food on Christmas, go to the movie theater too, 'cause there just ain't nothing else to do on Christmas when you're a Jew." And then it just keeps going.
Don't worry, we will not cut that. Don't worry.
Oh God. Wonderful. I'll look for the video though and I'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
Entertaining.
That's awesome. But yeah, the one really Hanukkah tradition that we did have was my brother and I would always pick which candle we thought would burn out the fastest.
That sounds like a fun game.
It was fun, yeah. Sometimes it wasn't any candle that we picked, but
You needed more siblings, it sounds like.
oh,
You
oh
needed
my
8.
gosh, eight whole. Well, 9. There are 9 candles on a Hanukkah menorah.
But,
Because you have one
the
to
one
light
lights
the
up.
8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was fun. These days, or I guess in more recent years, I'll, Skype with someone or FaceTime or Zoom or whatever it is, and video chat and light the Hanukkah candles sometimes. I have been to services once on Hanukkah, and it's so pretty because everybody brings their menorah and they turn the lights off and everyone lights their menorahs, and it's really, really pretty.
That sounds cool.
So yeah, if they have services, I might check those out.
Is it like super crowded?
I mean, it's more crowded than like a normal service, but it's not as crowded as like High Holy Days, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur.
Because I was thinking, well, yeah, because that's right. I remember what you told me. But no, I was just thinking like how how like in like churches, Easter and Christmas, everybody gets all religious and stuff.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. We're just curious, kind of shaking it up because like your first episode was
8 crazy nights.
yeah. And we kind of talked about like the history of it, and I don't know if you were on last November, but so just kind of shaking up the Hanukkah content here.
Yeah. I think it's always fun to hear what people do.
I mean, last December, because it was like during Christmas last year, I think.
I don't remember. Do you remember, Stephanie?
What is it? Sorry, I'm still looking up this song. What is it?
Hanukkah 2022. When was it?
Was it over Christmas? Did it overlap?
Yes. So last year, I was in New York. I went there on December 18th, and I think that was the first night of Hanukkah last year. Because I spent like the first 5 nights, I was staying with my friend, and just below her apartment, they had a giant Christmas tree and a menorah that they were lighting each night. So I'd take a picture. So I think it was like
nice.
either something that it started. So I think the last night was either on Christmas or the day after Christmas or something. I haven't done the calculation that quickly, but something like that.
Oh, I do have my little Hanukkah decorations up in my cubicle
that's
at
right.
the office.
Put your
That's
pillow
right.
on my couch. I can't show it to you because I'm
yay!
not home, but I put your pillow on my couch.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Wait,
I got Stephanie
Wait,
a Hanukkah pillow.
They don't live together? I thought y'all lived together.
No.
Target's on it.
Oh.
Yeah, Target has great stuff last year and this year.
I
Mhm.
crafted a
Hanukkah.
narrative that is not okay.
Yeah.
Chad's like over here with his mind being blown, and we're just keeping on going.
It's better that way.
But yeah, I didn't really have Hanukkah decorations until last year, actually.
No, but I remember asking when I was really young, asking my parents to put up Hanukkah decorations and then being adamant and not doing it because it's not a Hanukkah thing to put up decorations.
That's fair. I mean, it's not like we have a tree or,
Right.
lights specifically. It's like all just made, garlands or like,
Mhm.
you know,
Right. Like,
signs or things like that have been made.
Right. There's nothing besides like a Hanukkah, right? That's like and besides like foods and things that are
And
really
the dreidels.
right. But it's not something you can put on a house. So like everything that we have is like, oh, someone decided to make a pillow that says Happy Hanukkah on it. So I'm gonna get it. But it's not a regular thing.
Mhm.
Right, and Hanukkah sweaters are like a more newer thing
hmm
too.
Yes, now it's time for the movie discussion. The Terminal.
Mr. Navarsky.
Please follow me.
While you were in the air, there was a military coup in your country.
Beyond those doors is American soil. You are not to leave this building.
A man who cannot leave New York's John F. Kennedy Airport terminal. He's denied entry into the United States and also cannot return to his native country because of a military coup. Let's start with Rachel. Rachel, what did you think about this movie?
Oh, we're starting with me. Are we starting with positives or negatives?
Uh,
Or just overall general reactions?
overall general.
Okay, I think it's a well done movie. I really liked most parts of it, so it's kind of heartwarming and yeah, just overall really well done. There are lots of little details that I noticed that I was like, oh, they did this really well and this really well, and I forgot about that.
Little details like what?
Oh, like I thought the score was good. I loved like Tom Hanks' physical acting. He had great like physical acting, and I think that was partially like came across because of the language barrier of his character with
I thought you were going to reference his sitcom television work.
Oh, I was not going to, no.
Okay.
And I thought it was like some of the lines were really good. The cast had people in it that I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't remember she was in it or he was in it, and it was just really good people. And then the credits, I don't know if you technically consider that part of the movie, but I love how it's handwriting in the credits. It's their autographs, since that's why he was in New York.
Oh, I did not notice that because I turned the movie off when the credits came on.
Uh-huh.
But John Williams did the score.
Oh, that makes sense.
Good job, Rachel. That was going to be one of my trivias, but get it out the way.
Sorry.
No, it's good. Get it out the way.
Oh, also random detail that I noticed, they have a Borders in their airport in this movie. And back when they had Borders and Barnes & Noble, I was a Borders person, so I was very excited to see that.
So you, in this war, you chose EB Games over GameStop, huh?
I guess so. I chose the one that didn't make it.
You chose HD DVD over Blu-ray. I got you.
Yeah. You got any more metaphors?
Did you also notice that a Whopper was worth 75 cents?
Man!
I was like, wait, what?
How far we have fallen as a society.
Yeah.
I was like,
Jeez.
was that an like, I mean, I was, 13 when this movie came out? Like, was that advertised that Whoppers were less than $1 or something because Big Macs were $1? Like, what was
I mean,
it?
at the time we had a real dollar menu. Like we didn't even have a. Right. They call it the value menu now, or do they even not? Or do they even call it that anymore? Is it just like here's the menu? Like, is there anything like, is there an illusion of cheap food anymore?
I mean, everybody thinks that fast food is cheap food, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's still not cheap.
Once upon a time, it was cheap though.
Right? Yeah. Like a $5 footlong. Footlongs aren't $5 anymore, are they?
Aren't they like $7 or something like that?
Yeah,
they don't have that song. They don't have the ad anymore with the song.
Yeah, that's true. They had to cut it.
Yeah.
It's lost to history.
Mm-hmm. Generally, I enjoyed the film. Like I didn't feel bored watching it. I didn't dislike the main plot or what was going on. I felt entertained while I was watching it. there were a couple things that rubbed me the wrong way, like just but as I was watching the movie, I figured they were written so that they'd rub me the wrong way. Um, sometimes,
Such
um,
as.
such as the way that Stan Tucci's character was treating Tom
Oh,
Hanks's character.
okay.
It
Yeah.
made me very upset, but I do think it was written to make you feel upset as an audience member. Um,
What
but
about the way Amelia treats him?
Which one's Amelia?
that
Catherine
Catherine
Zeta-Jones.
Zeta-Jones. I was talking with my partner about this. I don't understand the purpose of her character. Like, I don't think she needed to be in the film. Like, I'm just
I
gonna.
think she gave him something to look forward to in the monotony of airport life, but that's
Yeah,
it.
but I didn't like. Yeah, I didn't like her
But
role at like
Yeah.
the the stereotype of a role that she played, and like and what she did to get him the document to get out at the end, but it never he didn't need the document, so I didn't understand. I just had some gripes about her purpose and kind of I
no,
love Zeta Jones and she acted well, but I just
no,
from a
I agree with you, Stephanie, but I think they were trying to give you the illusion of like, oh, here's the love interest. Like she was the love interest, but like this isn't that kind of movie.
it isn't, and I didn't need a love
Okay.
interest. I didn't feel like I needed one or I
That's
wanted one.
that's the
Yeah.
formula of this shit though, right? Like that's the formula of a Tom Hanks movie of the time. Like even
Really?
Castaway, he had a love interest.
Wilson?
Even Helen Hunt.
Who was
He
the
was Helen Hunt was his girlfriend when he got cast away, and he was trying to get off the island to get back to her.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
I love that in sync. So like, yeah, at the time you gonna cast Tom Hanks with somebody,
That's true.
So that's how you pitch the movie. Tom Hanks and Catherine Zeta-Jones are the turn 1-0.
That's true. I was I was really excited to see it. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Diego Luna.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
excited to see
Yes.
him. This was when he was starting.
He was so skinny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So young.
Yes.
So young. That was his like Dirty Dancing era.
Ah. Love
That's
that
when he
movie.
first started. That's the first thing I ever saw him in was Dirty Dancing. Two.
Oh, okay.
Havana Nights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Chad, what did you think about this?
So this is the second time I've seen this movie, right? And the first time I saw it was like the ABC Saturday night movie or whatever, and I really enjoyed it. But this was probably like 2010 or something when I saw it. And 2023, Chad, when we opened, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Tom Hanks's character barely knows English, and I'm like, this shit don't feel right. Like Tom Hanks, my dude, what are you doing? Like I know it was a different time, Tom Hanks, and you still my uncle. You still my uncle, all right? I'm a back you. I'm a back you like a motherfucker, right? But uncle, this don't feel right. Like this voice you doing, this feels offensive, uncle, and I need you to stop, uncle. Please stop. So I was just filled to the brim with cringe when this movie started. But it is a really heartwarming film. I love all the little subplots. Like I love until the end of it, the little subplot with him going to Zoe Saldana, playing Cyrano de Bergerac, not Cyrano, but basically, asking the questions because, Diego Luna liked Zoe Saldana. I love that. I hate that they got married without even speaking. That was
Yes.
stupid.
That's
Yeah.
That
I-
bothered me.
we
too.
had a discussion on whether they actually never met each other or if they actually did and we just never were privy to that
Maybe
part.
they cut some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked his little misadventures trying to find food and or money. Stanley Tucci being a dickhead, it's not a character you often see him play, like that kind of character. Like we'll usually see him play like the character he played in Devil Wears Prada or Burlesque, but it's like he's like technically the villain, you know.
All
I
right,
like.
let me jump in right now.
Okay.
I didn't think he was a villain to the very end. I thought he was a man just doing his job.
Really?
I mean,
I
but
just liked him from the beginning.
Till the up to the very end, where he was like blackmailing him and not blackmailing him, but
no, he blackmailed
That's
him.
blackmail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
no,
blackmail.
what
But
I'm
like
saying,
at the beginning, he took away his opportunity to gain to make money by making a job and giving it to someone else. Like that was
but before that, he gave him a chance to leave. He said,
no,
"Go
but
ahead."
he was gonna send the police after him as soon
That
as
wa-
he did.
Yeah, that wasn't in good faith, Matt.
Yeah.
He
And
was
the-
trying to help him. He was like,
He wasn't trying to help
He was
him. He was
never-
trying to get him.
He
out.
literally was about to have 911 on the phone or something and
Right.
called him when he crossed.
I agree
he
with
was-
him throughout this movie.
He was
I
trying
was
to like get him to not be his problem.
Right.
So he's like,
Right.
"Hey man, walk out," and he was going to have him arrested the second he walked out.
That's why they had the
He told
cameras
the
on
guy to
him.
call
Right.
him.
I ain't gonna say I rooted for him. I was like, man, I get you the whole time, because it don't make, like you say, they took away his making money, right?
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
that. Stanley Tucci
No.
chose to do that.
Right, because he's sitting there eating and stuff and living in this thing. He needs to get about it. I understood what he was going through.
But
What?
your
Why
plan
would
is
you
to
take
send a man
away-
to jail that does that. He committed no crime. He literally cannot leave because his country is being invaded, and your option is to send him to jail.
I understood what he was.
I'm
coming
asking. No, answer my question.
from. What's the question?
This man literally cannot legally leave this facility because his country is not a country
Right.
anymore.
Right.
It's at
Right, I
war.
get it.
And so Stanley Tucci's like, I'm going to get him arrested so that he's not my problem. And you're okay with that.
In a sense of this movie, I understood what he was trying to do.
I'm asking you,
No, of
you're
course
okay with that behavior
Of
of
course
you.
not. But I'm
of
saying
you-
I'm saying of course not. But I was like, just walk out the door, man. Just go. Just go.
But he didn't want to get in trouble. He's a good guy. I mean, that's why he knew when the camera was on him, oh, this is a trick. This is a trap.
Correct. Another thing, where did he get those crackers from?
Those are free at the time because, like, you know, they'd be over there with the napkins and stuff. Like if you got soup.
And those
Once
little-
upon a time, that was free.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to really put ourselves back into that 2004 mindset because, like, they not giving crackers away nowadays.
No.
No, not at all. But did you think that he was? I guess you guys already seen this, but I thought they was the plane was gonna run over the old man. I was like, that's how they gonna end this.
I kind of thought that. I kind of thought that too. I was like, I don't fully
Right.
remember all this.
I remembered he didn't get run over.
Yeah, I remembered he got arrested.
Yeah.
But no, I did like this movie. But my getting past the cringe, my biggest issue was the editing. Like we spent so much time on the Zoe Saldana subplot, and then we were like, okay, we're gonna do some Catherine Zeta-Jones stuff, and we spent so much time on that I was like, oh yeah, we got to do this Zoe Saldana stuff again. So I wish like the it would have been edited so like you would have not forgotten plot threads.
Like a bit more mixed together, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, more back and forth.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to see what. I know you can't do a whole day thing, but what is he doing throughout the day? I mean, they show little plots of him, getting the carts or whatever like that. But when
Learning
you're not,
English.
Yes.
I know at night, yeah, I saw
Sitting
that,
for
but I'm like,
2 hours in Zoe Saldana's space,
oh yeah,
waiting to
getting
get denied every day.
the light green card.
Yes.
right.
Although I will say, I don't know if it was the brightness of my screen. When she said light green and she held the two up, they looked like
Yeah, they looked the
same
same.
shade. And it didn't look light until he walked over to the side and picked up a different one.
Also, I thought it was funny. I guess this is more of a joke for me and Matt. When they were talking about that promotion, and he's all like, he making $19 an hour. That's more than I make. And I'm like, baby, you you the second in command of an airport, and you don't. And even in 2004 money, you make less than $19 an hour, and your boss just bought a fucking yacht.
Right, right.
Sir, something ain't right here.
Yeah,
Right.
didn't add up.
Did he get promoted at the end of the film? Is that what was happening when he was packing up his office?
Yeah, he got that man's job.
So that means his whole outburst didn't affect it at all.
Right. And I just because of insider baseball, I'm like, that's not exactly how that works. You can't be like, I recommend this person for a job. Like, yeah, they probably would like kind of shadow him, but like they'd also in good faith look at outside candidates because of the way that government jobs work.
Right. It's not gonna be like he recommended, so now HR people or whoever are gonna come out and watch him work.
Right. Like that's not how that works at all.
But also, when the HR people came out to watch him, he
assaulted someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were like, he didn't speak English. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Would this happen now, today, in today's world?
This being the entire film?
This whole situation with him, like, I feel like part of it was they didn't have communication between, like, the countries while he was in the air. Like, I feel like the communication would have gotten there faster and they would have figured it out. But also, I feel like he would have gotten like
some sort of
what's
asylum.
it called? Yeah, asylum status.
Yeah, because it's like you can't leave. Well, no, because I don't want to trample on Matt's trivia.
Here's my question.
No. Go ahead. Go. I want you to.
Well, you go, Stephanie.
Here's my question, though. I mean, I was early teens in 2004. Like, in my head, even when I saw it the first time, it was supposed to be a ridiculous thing that happened, that he got stuck in the airport, and it was the trailer advertised it that way. So would it have even happened in 2004, really?
This is based off a true story.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Never mind.
So that's why I was like, that you can't literally get stuck in the airport. Then I was like, well, no, that's actually happened. So like, yeah, I don't know, because like what, even still, you get the call in the air. It's not like you can turn around and take the person to a country that's literally at war.
Right, but I feel like decisions would have had more time to have been made.
Possibly.
Well, and I feel like there's more. I mean, I don't know the law to the T or very well, but I feel like there's more definition of what a refugee is and what someone needing asylum is these days. Does that mean gets followed through with? I don't know.
That's a fair point, because like, what's the difference between? I guess the problem is like the airport technically is not a country. I feel like that's probably what it is. And so like, to Matt's point, if he would have just been like, I'm going into America for and then you could, on the basis of like fear base, I needed to be somewhere, but like the airport's not a country. So it's like he's just in a literal gray zone. So maybe that's kind of.
Well, and that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to get him into the country on basis of seeking asylum, right? And saying he feared for his life or whatever it was. But I feel like these days, there's more than just I fear for my life that defines you as.
But also, I feel like that shouldn't even be a question. Do you fear for your life? You literally, if you go home, you could be murdered. So like, we shouldn't even have to ask you this question.
Yeah.
And also because physically, he actually cannot go home.
Right. So once more, it's like, I don't know, like most of my arguments that I'm trying to make, like they keep getting stopped because like this actually fucking happened,
But it happened how long ago?
That's
why I'm wondering.
Late 80s.
Yeah, so that's why I was wondering if things have changed enough.
But they still have like asylum and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, Well, and probably since this happened in real life, I'm sure they have a rule based on it now. Since
Possibly.
it did happen.
But like
but
you like even still like you even like if you're like trying to get refugee status, you are still at some point you have to possibly illegally enter a country.
right.
And so since he did not break a law to get into America, what are you gonna do? Like you can't like human rights, you can't just arrest him and make him enter America, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was one of those things where I was like, I don't know if this would still
Fly.
stand today.
Well, no, I think because of once 9/11 happened and they changed the rules of how we do things, like before, you as a regular person without a ticket, you can go up to the gates and things like that. So I think like just having somebody just be
Well,
there in the airport
I feel like
like
but
that.
I feel like international airports were different. I don't think you could have went to the gate in an international airport.
Yeah, because you have to go through customs
Well,
first.
actually, no. That's you only
No,
do
but you go
customs
through
when you enter the
customs
Oh,
when you're
yeah,
in
you
the
country.
only
international
do.
terminal.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, so like when you that's what it was. He was in the part
Oh, before you get to uh
before you go into customs.
Was he?
oh, okay.
Yeah, because remember he went up to the gate and he gave them his passport and
Oh,
then
he
they
never
flagged
got
him.
back through. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So that's the gray area there.
Mm.
I don't know.
But what do you guys think the Rotten Tomatoes is on this?
Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg in the early 2000s, they still had that hot fire. So I'm going to say 88.
I was thinking somewhere in the 80s. I was gonna say like 83.
I'm gonna go for it and say 90.
Ooh.
Yeah.
61%.
Are you
What?
fucking serious? Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, Catherine Zeta-Jones, fire, fire, fire. In 2004.
61% with 207 reviews. And then you might think, these critics don't know what they're talking about. Let's go with the audience score. 74% with over 250,000 ratings.
Maybe there are too many people watching it from today's perspective.
Yeah.
That's
Trivia.
wow.
The movie was inspired by the story of I should have learned this name before I did this. The movie was inspired by the name of Heinrich Nassier. He landed at Charles de Gaulle Airport.
Charles de Gaulle in
Paris.
Paris. Yeah.
Yes. In 1988, after being denied entry into England because his Iranian passport and United Nations refugee certificate had been stolen. French authorities wouldn't let him leave the airport, so he remained in Terminal 1, a stateless person with nowhere else to go. He was eventually granted permission to enter either France or return to Iran, but he chose to live in a terminal and tell his story to anyone who would listen. Skip
Wait,
this
he
part.
chose?
Yeah. Well, let Matt finish.
Okay, sorry.
Right. Reportedly, his mental health deteriorated over the years. When given the opportunity to live in France, he refused because the documents did not identify him as Sir Alfred, and that he claimed he forgotten his native Persian. He left the terminal in August of 2006 to be hospitalized for unspecified illness. Afterwards, he lived in a hotel on the money received from the film, this movie, which he was paid $250,000 to use for his biography. But then he moved back to the airport in October of 2022, and he died in Terminal 2F on November 12th, 2022.
Wow.
Can you go back and read the beginning bit about the refugee stuff and the losing his documents? Can you read it one more time?
It says, after being denied entry to England because his Iranian passport and United Nations refugee certificate had been stolen.
So he okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I feel like there was some mental health stuff there for a while. It was just
Yeah.
undiagnosed.
So I was reading some
Yeah.
additional information about that, and that's what he told them that they were stolen. Somebody else said no, he mailed it to somewhere wrong or something like that. So the stories are kind of wonky about what actually happened to his certificate.
Hmm.
Because
Uh,
being stolen, like, that could happen to anyone,
Right, but
right?
this also should be like a protocol if your shit's stolen, which I'm sure like it's not like the first time anyone's documents have been stolen internationally, you know.
Well, and
mhm.
like for me, I went to Istanbul and I didn't know I needed a visa until I got there, and I could get one when I got there.
Oh,
So if
you
he's
could?
already applied for refugee status, then you'd think he'd be able to get a copy of the document if he's lost it. But I guess in the
Right.
80s, maybe not.
Or, well, call the embassy and maybe they would help bring
Right.
something
Right,
to the
right.
airport.
But then at some point, Matt, you said that he was legally allowed into France or to go back home, and he chose neither. Is that
Yeah.
what you said? So at
Yes.
some point, it wasn't
There's
even like just go. It was no, you're allowed to, and he chose not to.
yeah. I mean, I feel like there's just some underlying mental health stuff.
Hmm.
I'm surprised they let him move back into the airport.
I mean, I'm sure he didn't talk to anybody. He probably just went,
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
bought a ticket, and just but how comfortable is that? You just sleeping on benches? Like, well, actually, no, cause like, well, then they they had like the lounges there. You got to be
Right.
whatever status, where you can shower or whatever. But then they also have areas I'm sure you could pay for. Like, I've been to Charles de Gaulle, but I didn't like fucking explore there because I wasn't trying to fucking live in the airport. So I don't really.
Right.
Yeah.
And back to what I was saying, like, what is he doing all day? The actual person, they said that he used to write a lot in his journal and meditate and things like that. That's what he'll be doing throughout the day.
So he didn't go and build a fountain.
Nah. Actually, they said that even though they bought the rights to his life, none of this stuff, none of his life stuff happens in the movie. And even like basically the concept of somebody being stuck in the airport is all they use for this movie. Everything else they made up on themselves.
Mm. I know they made up the country because I looked that up.
Cosset,
Oh, yeah.
Krakosia.
Yeah, Kirkosia, yeah.
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 Sure. Yeah.
And then they even said that during when the war was over and they're dancing in the bar and they're like singing a national anthem, they said that was gibberish.
Makes
Oh
sense.
yeah, and it said like some of his papers and stuff were like actually a woman's, and it wasn't even in the right language or whatever that he spoke, and yeah.
I got two pieces left of trivia. When he kept saying that he needed to go to the Ramada Inn at 161 Lexington. In real life, 161 Lexington Avenue, New York, is indeed home of the Ramada. And at the time of the terminal's filming, the history dates back 110 years to 1914, the debut of the Hotel Rutledge for women, and it retained a woman-only policy until the 1930s.
Oh.
So yes,
Like a women's shelter.
Like a hotel for women
Yeah.
only?
but yeah, it looks like a hotel for. It just says a women-only policy, so maybe a women-only hotel.
Yeah, you used to have like sex specific living quarters or temporary living quarters. They didn't want any quote unquote funny business happening, but gay people existed forever.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm?
this film was set in New York, but he was actually in Paris. But the Ramada Inn is in New York.
Yeah, the Ramada that
Yeah.
Tom Hanks kept referencing is real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And the last thing, this film was shot with two endings. The original version, and there was another ending where Kathleen Zeta-Jones' character goes with him to Manhattan.
Oh.
The changes to the film caused the start date of Spielberg's next film, Munich, to be pushed back several weeks, which meant Ben Kingsley could no longer appear in it due to his commitment to appear in Roman Polanski's Oliver Twist.
Man, did that movie even come out? The Roman Polanski one. I don't ever remember hearing that piece of shit making an Oliver Twist movie.
Let's see.
Well,
But also, like, have y'all seen Munich?
I have not.
Not.
Stephanie,
no.
that movie goes so fucking hard.
What's it about?
Which Olympics was that with that terrorist attack in
The Munich Olympics?
Oh, thank you. Yes. It was it was obviously targeted towards Israel. And so
when they abducted all the Israeli athletes?
Yeah.
It was in like the 80s or something, I think.
something like that. Yeah.
Something like
And
that.
so like it's stars Eric Bana, and like so the Israeli government like tasked together some people to like hunt these motherfuckers down, like who organized it.
Mhm.
It is a really good fucking spy film. Well, spy-ish. It's not like ooh fun James Bond spy. It's like real spy where it's like you say, you know, you out here living your life and like motherfuckers put a bomb in your fucking closet.
Yeah, I remember seeing a trailer and wanting to see the movie.
It's
but I didn't.
really good. I don't know if it's a Rachel Downtime movie, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
All right, I have one trivia question.
Ooh. Oh, I forgot
When
that's a
this-
thing on this show.
When this movie debuted, it debuted at number 2.
Ooh.
Which movie came out the same day and was number 1?
The
Now, I'll
date.
give you
Oh.
the same date that The Terminal was released. Or I guess
And
weekend, I
you're
guess.
giving
Probably
us
weekend.
options.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll give you options. And I
Can you-
give Lucy how good your movie knowledge is. This came out in June
Of 2004.
of 2004.
Okay,
Now,
let's fucking go.
Now, the question is, what movie came out the same day as The Terminal and debuted as number 1?
Oh, shit,
All right.
I'm excited for this shit.
All right, you have Shrek 2.
Ooh.
You have Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story. And you have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
I was in my head thinking maybe a Harry Potter film because they came out in June's.
So which one debuted the same day as number 1? At the same day as Terminal, but was number 1.
Let me think about it.
I'm gonna go with Harry Potter.
Prisoner of Azkaban was the third one. This one came out in 2001, 2002. It would have come out in 2004-ish.
Oh, wow. All of those came out in 2004.
I'm gonna go with Harry Potter because I know they came out when I got out of school. And I went and saw it with my dad on the last day of school of 6th grade, which was 2004.
All right, Chad.
Dodgeball.
It's Dodgeball. Did you know that already, or was that a guess?
Man.
I'm a film bro.
Oh, yes. Dodgeball it came out the same day. 11 million on the first day. Terminal only did 6 million.
The first day or the weekend?
It says daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
I don't remember Dodgeball being wait, am I thinking of the wrong Dodgeball movie?
Vince Vaughn, Ben
Yeah,
Stiller.
I didn't think
Dodgeball.
that would debut at number 1.
All those stupid ass comedies was like hitting hard. Like that step. I'm not saying it's the same year, but like that Step Brothers. Like you fucking have like a quote unquote raunchy comedy in the mid 2000s.
That's true.
That shit's gonna fucking light the box office on fire.
June 2004, Matt?
18.
Okay. Harry Potter was June 4th.
Yeah. That's why I kept saying I want
Where it was June of that.
I want to make it clear. I was like the day that it came out. I know Harry Potter, of course, was number 1 when it came out and everything. So
right.
yes.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why you were released The Terminal in the summer. Like I get that it's Spielberg, but that feels like a
winter.
A wintry movie. That feels like we want an award movie, you know?
Right.
Is that why we were hoping it was a Hanukkah movie?
Yeah, like I haven't seen it in over 10 years, so I was like, oh yeah, I feel like there's some. It feels like it feels like a holiday, right?
Looking back Watching it the second time, do you feel that way?
Looking back at the things I've done.
Oh, I appreciate that reference.
Yeah. I got us in this boat, okay, guys?
All right.
Appreciate it.
All
right.
It's a fun movie.
It is a good movie.
Thank you so much, Rachel and Stephanie, for being on. Do you guys have anything to plug?
Letterboxd. You can follow me at Rach Elephant.
Still as antisocial on social media as I was last time. So, you know, I'm
You
good.
you don't want to hype up eating Chinese food on Christmas?
I mean, you know, there's some really good, authentic Chinese places that are open on Christmas. Go for it.
Talk to your girl. Talk to your girl.
I mean, I spent Christmas with Rachel before multiple times.
But
Movies
you
are
weren't-
good.
Yeah, the movies. Go to the movies.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusetotalkpod@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. Yes, it's a thing. We have it. We don't use it at We Used to Talk Pod. Follow me, Mr. King, or follow me on Letterboxd at Mr. King0257. Follow Chad at BOW1213. Come back next week for the Natalie Portman, Julia and more Netflix original, May December.
But yeah, so thanks so much for listening, and now you know what we used to talk about at work.